Let's just think for a second. What if, in a single moment, every screen on Earth just went dark? Not just your phone, but the entire digital pulse of the planet flatlines. What would you do? I mean, really, how would you survive?
Just like that, it's gone. No warning, no error message. The entire digital world that we live in, work in, pretty much breathe in, it has simply vanished.
And we're not talking about a local blackout. This is a planet-wide event. From Tokyo to Toronto, London to Lima, every single person is completely cut off. We're all in the dark, together. For the next 48 hours, the world as we know it is offline. And the clock, well, it's ticking.
Okay, so let's dive into what happens in those first few chaotic moments, right as the digital world goes completely silent.
The very first thing you'd notice is that device in your hand, your phone, right? Your absolute lifeline to everything. Well, now, it's nothing more than a pocket-sized brick. Sure, it can be an alarm clock, maybe a flashlight, but its connection to everyone and everything, totally severed. Then this weird kind of silence would set in. Not a literal silence, but a digital one. Every website is just gone. Every app is completely unresponsive. Your messages are just hanging there unsent in a void. And this isn't just an inconvenience, It's a profound, sudden, and deeply felt isolation. And almost immediately, the digital blackout brings the entire global economy to a screeching halt. The very idea of money kind of evaporates when its digital rails just disappear. Get this. Every single day, $6.6 trillion zips around the globe as ones and zeros. The second the shutdown hits, that entire flow just stops. The economic heartbeat of the world has flatlined. Every single part of modern finance just crumbles, all at once. Your credit card? Useless. ATMs? They're frozen solid. And your bank balance? Well, it exists on a server that you can't reach anymore. The global stock markets, which depend on trades happening in milliseconds, are instantly stopped, trapping trillions of dollars in some kind of digital limbo. It really hammers home a terrifying truth. We've built a world where our wealth is basically just data. And if you take away the network to get to that data, it's almost like it's gone. This digital crisis, it doesn't stay digital for very long. It immediately spirals out into a physical one. And this isn't about losing access to Instagram. This is about the core functions of our society completely breaking down. Just look at this chain reaction. It's terrifying. First, the GPS network dies. That means every single plane is grounded. Every cargo ship and delivery truck is essentially lost. So the complex supply chains that feed our cities and stock our stores, they're cut. Within hours, store shelves would already start to empty out. And somehow, it gets even worse. So much of our critical infrastructure is deeply dependent on the internet. Hospitals lose access to all their patient records in the cloud. Power grids, which are managed by remote sensors, they become unstable. Traffic light systems fail, leading to absolute gridlock in every city. And with no news websites, no government alerts, no official way to communicate, you get this really dangerous information vacuum. Fear and rumors would spread just by word of mouth, and that would almost certainly trigger panic buying, riots, and widespread chaos. But wait a minute. How could something this massive even happen? Is it a coordinated cyber attack? A giant solar flare? Well, to understand the possibility, you have to understand the surprisingly fragile physical reality of the internet. It's really easy to think of the cloud as something floating up in the sky, right? But the truth is, it's at the bottom of the ocean. These massive submarine cables, they're the real arteries of our global connection, and they carry almost all of our data. The internet isn't magic. It's a physical thing. It's literally millions of miles of fiber optic cables, enormous data centers that use up as much power as a city, and these really important exchange points where all the networks meet. And every single one of those is a potential point of failure. I mean, a single ship's anchor in the wrong spot could sever a whole continent's connection. So, facing this unbelievable collapse, a global, desperate race against time would begin. It would be a monumental task of, well, rebooting civilization itself. Governments and tech companies would have to activate their emergency plans. And this isn't a simple turn it off and on again situation. It's a phased, incredibly high-stakes response. They'd have to deploy engineers to those physical hubs to manually start the process of bringing the world back online, piece by painful piece. And you'd have to have a triage process. You can't just turn everything on at once.
Priority 1 would have to be restoring government and military command, just to maintain social order. Priority 2, rebooting the financial networks to stop a total economic meltdown. Then, and only then, do you start focusing on the rest of us.
So after 48 hours of pure chaos, the lights start to flicker back on. The digital pulse returns. But the world is forever changed, you know? Haunted by the memory of just how close we all came to the edge, the fragility of our hyper-connected world would be exposed for everyone to see.
Which really brings us back to that final, chilling question. It's one thing to think about this on a global scale, but what about you? Your food, your money, your safety. After everything we've just gone over, how long could you truly last?